What an absolute depressing Monday here in Lionstown.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, here we go, everybody. It's another week of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Matt Derry with you. Locked On Lions for another week as Detroit gets ready to take on the Chicago Bears on Sunday at Soldier Field in the freezing cold down there by Lakeshore Drive. Bears and Vikings will play Monday Night Football tonight, so we'll keep an eye on that. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts on a Monday, December 16th, in a Tuesday, December 17th. Tomorrow, Trey Wingo, formerly of ESPN and now of DraftKings and every 10,000 podcasts that he does. Trey's going to join us tomorrow on the program. Locked On Lions today on a Monday. I sound like Tanya Lalonde. Today, brought to you by FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Yes, if you had Tanya Lalonde as somebody that would get a reference 2 minutes into the program today on the old bingo card, congratulations. You are a winner. Of course, subscribe, watch us for free on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Thank you to our everydayers who are out there that watch and listen to the podcast daily. Today has been awful if you're a Detroit Lions fan. Just awful. Number one, the Lions lost yesterday to the Bills. Look, 12-2, still atop the NFC, still controls their own destiny. I am all for discussing the fact that this football team, despite all of these injuries, can still finish 15-2. I believe that. But more injuries today, two more starters on defense, the two guys on the defense you could least afford to lose, seriously, are now out for the year. David Montgomery out for the year. Like, when is this, going to end here? This is horrible. Horrible. And this franchise has scratched and clawed for the last 4 years under Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell to get to a point where they're a Super Bowl contender. And now they have no players left. We'll get into that. PFF grades from yesterday's debacle at Ford Field when the Lions lost to the Bills, and also a call of the day. If you want to be our call of the day, hit us up on our SpeakPipe voicemail system at speakpipe.com/Derry podcast page. Hope everybody had a decent Monday. It was raining. It was gross. This has been kind of the feeling all day. And it started early in the day when reports started circulating in that, yes, Alim McNeill tore his ACL. Arguably the Lions' best defensive player with Aiden Hutchinson out. He is the man in the middle of that defense. He's so important at the point of attack. He's a guy that is unblockable. I think was having a Pro Bowl season. Alim McNeill's season is done. Non-contact injury, planted his foot on the turf there at Ford Field. You could tell coming off the field he was so angry, mad, because he knew his season was over. That poor guy is a stud. And now he won't even be ready for the start of next year after tearing his ACL here in December. An absolute killer loss for this team. Then, to make matters worse, the Lions' number one cornerback, a guy playing for a free agent contract, Carlton Davis, fractured his jaw. Look, let's say the Lions make the NFC Championship game. There's a chance, Dan Campbell said today, that Carlton Davis could come back, but he's not coming back. They're wiring his jaw shut. He's not going to be able to work out. I highly doubt we're going to see Carlton Davis again this season. Maybe the Super Bowl if the Lions make it, but that's an enormous loss again for this defense. Carlton Davis over the last 6-7 games was the highest rated cornerback on PFF. He had been playing very, very well. A veteran player with great leadership, just, took over the one side of the field, did a great job. Really, started kind of the year slow, but started to come on and play really good football. He's done for the year. So who knows who's going to step in at cornerback right now? because Khalil Dorsey broke his leg. He's out for the year too. Lions are down now, not one, but two cornerbacks. It's so bad out there. Jerry Jacobs is on Twitter basically saying, waiting for an opportunity. Did the phone ring and are the Lions really bringing Jerry Jacobs back? You might as well get Bobby Price a call too. Where are Dixon and Minifield? Can they come out of retirement? This is ridiculous. The following defensive players have been gone for the season for the Lions. Now, a couple of them might come back. But as of right now, the Lions have been without Aiden Hutchinson, Alim McNeill, Kyle Pecco, Marcus Davenport, John Kaminsky, Mekhi Wingo, Nate Lynn, David Batta, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, take a breath, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, Malcolm Rodriguez, Carlton Davis, Ennis Rakestraw, Khalil Dorsey, and Ife Melifonwu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 defensive players have been on IR. What in the literal F, man? What? Gosh. Why? Why? Why the Lions? Couldn't you pick some other team to have all these injuries? And I got news for you. This is not good. Like, I can't sit here and tell you, oh, next man up, golly gee, they'll be okay. They're running out of players. Look at what's happened in San Francisco. Look at how bad the Niners are this year. It's because they're out of players. What happened to the New York Giants last year? Remember 2 years ago, Joe Shane and Brian Daboll were the toast in New Jersey. The Giants creeped up on people. Last year, their whole team was hurt. And they ended up being bad. I'm not saying the Lions' season is over. I'm not. I still think they can find a way, but they're going to have to outscore everybody. The offense is going to have to be on point every week and prepared to put up 35 or 40 because there's just only so much availability left. And it's week 16 or whatever it is, 15. What are you supposed to do here? Trying to sign players off the street, trying to find practice squad players on other teams, maybe Maurice Norris, maybe Melifonwu comes back this week. Dan Campbell said it's a possibility that if he could be ready this week. Ennis Rakestraw, not so much. Melifonwu has not played a single snap all year. Now you're asking him, after moving him to safety last year, to maybe have to move him back to cornerback this season. Or Brian Branch goes back to corner, and if he comes back in and plays safety. But you're asking a lot of a guy who hasn't seen the field all season. Aaron Glenn, future head coach Aaron Glenn, and the Lions defensive staff have done a great job. But the last 2 weeks, Green Bay put up 31, Buffalo put up 48. It's starting to get a little rough here. All right. Quan Alexander is running around. Jamal Adams is running around. There's a reason these guys were not on active rosters 2 weeks ago. They're trying. But your number one corner, now we're going to see Kindle Vildor starting. How many times on this show have I told you the biggest thing that has been great for the Lions has been that Kindle Vildor has not had to start a game at cornerback because the Lions have better corners this year. Brad Holmes went out and did a great job acquiring Carlton Davis, acquiring Amik Robertson, drafting Terrion Arnold. And now Vildor is back as a starter because there's nobody else left. It's depressing. And Alim McNeill, man, plugs a lot of holes in the middle of that defensive line. I know Levi Onwuzurike can handle the spot. He'll be there parked next to DJ Reader, but it's not the same. Alim McNeill is a game wrecker. Alim McNeill is a difference maker. And losing him to a torn ACL is just abysmal. Sucks. It's going to be tough. Top of the NFC right now, Philadelphia, Minnesota. Those teams look good. Those teams look good. Can the Lions beat them? Yes, but it's going to be hard, very difficult. The Lions are going to have to turn into the 1990 New York Giants and run the football. Oh, and speaking of running the football, won't see David Montgomery anytime soon. We will discuss that bit of bad news coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. Hey, it's a Monday. Who's feeling good? Sorry I'm such a downer, but I got to keep it real with you guys. You know that. I'm keeping it real dumb. And Locked On Lions today is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Actually, I'm going to tell you about FanDuel in a second. But first, let me tell you first about BetterHelp. Locked On Lions, sponsored by BetterHelp. All right. Holiday season is here. Times to get you in the mood to be with your family, to get together. But it is a lot of pressure, right? Getting gifts, getting people together. But you also want to be warm and cozy because it's going to get cold here in December. Right? How do you stay cozy during the winter months? For some, wrapping up in a blanket with a mug of hot chocolate or a coffee or watching a movie with family is the best way to spend the month of December. What about therapy, though? It's a great way to bring yourself some comfort that never goes away, even when the season changes. All right. I've benefited from therapy and talking to somebody, and you can too as well. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Seriously, it's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. And hey, folks, it's that time of year. The college football playoff is back. And with the newly expanded 12-team format, it is guaranteed to be bigger and better than ever, bringing you all the hard-hitting and high-flying excitement that you love. TNT Sports' coverage of the college football playoff begins December 21st, this Saturday, starting with a college football playoff kickoff show presented by AT&T at 11 a.m. Eastern, leading into the first game, SMU against Penn State at noon. Then Clemson looking to upset Texas in a showdown at 4 o'clock Eastern. Don't miss a moment of the action. Watch the college football playoff presented by Allstate live on TNT, True TV, TBS, and Max. I remember watching game 1, Tigers Guardians on Max on my phone on vacation. So check that out if you want to for the college football playoff games. I'll be at South Bend Friday night. That's right. For my IU Hoosiers taking on the Fighting Irish. All right, welcome back to the program. Matt Derry with you. Monday edition of Locked On Lions. Lauren Cox will join us on Thursday for the crossover Locked On Bears as Detroit touchdown Bears. Lions and Bears will go at it in Chicago. A lot of people commenting, my guy Evil Genius on Twitter, my friend Michelle, a lot of people commenting on my Tony Romo impersonation from yesterday. Folks, I don't really remember doing a Tony Romo. Jim, I don't really know how good that is, but Tony Romo's annoying. But thank you to those of you that liked my impersonation from yesterday's show. All right, bad news. David Montgomery, an MCL injury, getting a second opinion. But Dan Campbell said today, and that's a medial collateral ligament. Dan Campbell said today, it's unlikely David Montgomery will be back this year. He's going to be lost for the season. Yes, I know they've got Sonic. Yes, I know the Sonic and Knuckles plan was unbelievable together. And yes, Jahmyr Gibbs is a high-quality player. He's going to have to carry a lot of the load. And by the way, Montgomery might be out, but you know who's next up. Come on, Craig. Come on, Craig. Craig Reynolds, baby. Number 13. Wipe off the cobwebs. Craig is coming. Craig Reynolds is going to have to play. Craig Reynolds is going to have to get some short yardage snaps and spell Jahmyr Gibbs at times. And he's very capable. Here's the thing about losing Montgomery. Unbelievable veteran leadership. Unbelievable toughness. Was playing through the MCL injury yesterday. Literally playing through it. And this Sunday was a game that I would circle and say, Lions at Bears, Outdoors in the cold, wind by the lakefront down there. You need David Montgomery to win that game, to go back into Chicago to beat the Bears. You know he always wants to beat his former team, a team that let him walk in free agency, and now he's out for the year. God, this sucks. Terrible. Absolutely horrible. So, the Lions are going to turn to Craig Reynolds and see where this goes, and Jahmyr Gibbs. But that 1-2 punch of Gibbs and Montgomery was just lethal. Now, here's the thing. What's the strength of the Detroit Lions? What's their number one strength? Offensive line. And it's intact. Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, Frank Ragnow. We'll get to the PFF grades in a second. Not Frank's best day yesterday. Kevin Zeitler and Penei Sewell. The Lions cannot afford to lose any of those guys. I'm gonna knock on some sort of wood. Okay? Cannot afford to lose any of those guys. The Lions can still run the rock. They can still pound the rock with Gibbs, with Reynolds. Who knows? Sione Vaki might get some touches. We might be talking about a December Christmas Vaki town. All right? But losing David Montgomery is just a killer because that guy, yards after contact, is as good as anybody in the sport. And a great leader, too. So absolutely sucks. Totally sucks for the Lions. All right, PFF grades from yesterday. We have a call of the day as well. Top 5 and bottom 5 Lions from yesterday, according to Pro Football Focus. Let's start on defense, where the Lions surrendered 48 points and over 550 total yards to Superman Josh Allen, the NFL MVP, and that Buffalo offense. Man, were they rolling yesterday. And give Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator, credit. All the misdirection, all of the fakes one way, go the other. Teams are going to look at that. Philadelphia especially runs a lot of that same offense. They're going to look at what the Bills did against the Lions yesterday. So we'll see. All right. As far as top 5 Lions on defense yesterday, best performance yesterday on defense for Detroit was Amik Robertson, who had a 76.6 grade. Second highest graded player was Carlton Davis before he got hurt at 74.4. Alim McNeill, last game of the season for him, sucks, 72.5. Linebacker David Long, 70.4. And Pat O'Connor on the D-line, 69.8. Those are your top 5 Lions on defense from yesterday. Bottom 5 Lions, Quan Alexander, 27.1. Ouch. Jonah Williams, how you doing, Jonah? 29.5. Jack Campbell, 30.5. Not a good performance yesterday from the Lions middle linebacker. Josh Paschal, 44.6. Ezekiel Turner, linebacker, 46.1. 5th lowest on the team. So those are your top 5 and bottom 5 Lions on defense from yesterday's L that they took to the Buffalo Bills. Saw some Bills Mafia videos yesterday, jumping through the tables and all that outside of Ford Field. All right, top 5 Lions on offense. You knew this guy would have a good grade. Sam Laporta, 78.9, tops on the team. Taylor Decker, left tackle, 78.7. Penei Sewell, 78.3. So the tackles were fine. Amon-Ra St. Brown, huge day yesterday, 75.2. And Ja Gibbs, 67 grade. Top 5 Lions on offense, which was not the issue yesterday, 42 points in the loss to the Bills. Bottom 5 Lions on offense. Graham Glasgow, left guard. He and Frank Ragnow got eaten for lunch by Ed Oliver. 34.3 for Graham. Frank Ragnow, the center, 43.9. You'll never see a lower grade for Frank Ragnow than what happened yesterday. Hopefully it's just one game. Brock Wright, the Brock Party, 18 snaps, 45.9. Jamison Williams, kind of invisible yesterday other than the late touchdown, 56.5. And Tim Patrick did not have a good day, 58.4. Those are your top 5 and bottom 5 Lions from yesterday's lost to the Bills. And look, these 3 games coming up are all winnable. Lions can beat the Bears in Chicago. Lions can absolutely beat the Niners in San Francisco. San Francisco is basically laying down. Week 18 at home against Minnesota is going to be a tough game, really tough game. Vikings are red hot. And then anything happens. But the Lions can just win these last 3 games and get that 1 seed and get a bye and get some rest. Maybe they'll get some of these guys back, like Anzalone and Melifonwu and others. Jalen Reeves-Maben, because they just need bodies, man. Just need bodies. And by the way, Aaron Glenn's game plan yesterday, regardless of the injuries, staying with man, never blitzing. Not his best day yesterday either. We talked about Dan Campbell and that ridiculous onside kick down 10. Aaron Glenn didn't have a great day either yesterday. Still have faith in him. Guy's done a magical job this year with this team and with this defense, with all of the injuries. We got a call of the day coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. And hey, we got 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. You want to bet on some of the action? Get involved with America's #1 sports book. That is FanDuel, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Pistons and Heat tonight at the LCA. You want to put some money down on some prop bets and player projections and all that stuff? You can do that as well at FanDuel. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. If you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. By the way, those of you watching on our YouTube channel and wondering the pullover I'm wearing today, this is the Q5 Experience. If you know any business owners who are thinking about exiting their business, let's say in the next 3 to 5 years, or you know somebody that's ready to get out, has no plan, isn't really sure where to start, we can help you with that at Q5. Check us out at q5experience.com. It's I run a marketing and business development for the company. We are an owner readiness company. Check us out. All right, time for our call of the day. If you want to be the call of the day, you can at speakpipe.com/dairy podcast page. This week, I think we're heading out of state again. Seems like every call of the day from SpeakPipe is from somebody out of the state. Chris checks in with a very good question on our call of the day. Take a listen.
Hey, Matt Derry. This is Chris Brinkman. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. I've been an everyday listener for about 1.5 years now, and I've been a Lions fan since I can remember. But today is my first voice message. My big thing is I have been so excited about this season, and I have been watching every game like I always do, and just super, super excited. And now we've got all these more injuries, but the David Montgomery and Alim McNeill injuries and the Carlton Davis injuries are just heartbreakers for me. I don't understand how we're going to survive those injuries. If you could, my big question after all of that is, what are we going to do to replace Carlton Davis? I know PFF had him ranked pretty high this year as a shutdown corner, and I just think that that's going to be really tough to overcome. What do you think? Thanks for all your hard work and everything you do. Go Lions, one pride.
Yes, one pride. Thank you, Chris Brinkman. Very good question. Very interesting question on what the Lions are going to do to replace Carlton Davis. I said it before. If I had to guess, I think Ife Melifonwu is going to come back and hopefully come back this week. The question is, do the Lions trust him more to play corner, or do they move Brian Branch back to corner, where, of course, he had a very successful year last year, and make Melifonwu a safety? That's what I think they're going to do. I know how good Brian Branch is as a strong safety. He and Kirby Joseph are as good a safety tandem as there is in the league. They are phenomenal. But I think, if I had to guess, if he comes back, is eligible to come off IR, his clock has started, Rakestraw has not yet. According to Dan Campbell, he's not ready. But if Melifonwu can be out there, Brandon Joseph is a safety that they really like. I think that's the first plan of attack. My guess is that Maurice Norris, who had a really good August and was solid during the preseason, will be elevated from the practice squad. Like I said before, Jerry Jacobs put out on social media something about, opportunity, being patient with an opportunity. I don't know if his phone has rang. He knows the Lions system. He knows the team. He is currently out of the league. He could be somebody that they target just to bring in off the street. Another option is to go to another team's practice squad and find somebody that has been elevated for a few games and has played a few games this season. And this is where the Lions pro personnel department has done a nice job this year, is plucking players off of other teams' practice squads. The problem with that is so late in the year is there's so many injuries right now that teams are elevating their own guys quickly. All right. MJ Emerson got hurt for the Browns yesterday and is likely lost for the year as a cornerback. So if, let's say, Brad Holmes and his staff liked one of the corners on the Browns practice squad, well, the Browns are going to elevate somebody there. There's just been a lot of injuries over the last few weeks. So keep an eye on a practice squad pickup. I don't know how much smoke there is to this Jerry Jacobs tweet from a few hours ago about his phone ringing. We'll see. Maybe it's another team that's after Jacobs. But right now is you're getting down to the scraps at the end of the year with adding players. Like I said, I think Melifonwu could be ready this week. He's had the finger problem. He's had the leg problem this year. Hasn't played in the game. But that's somebody that had good success in the second half of last season. And I think you're going to see Melifonwu out there with Joseph. And if I had to guess, Brian Branch might have to be moved back to corner before all is said and done. All right, tomorrow, Trey Wingo will join us from DraftKings, formerly of ESPN, loves the NFL. We love talking to Trey. Thursday, we will talk to the great Lauren Cox, host of Locked On Bears. Keep the faith, everybody. It's not going to be easy, but this team is still 12-2 and still in a good spot. Just it's going to be tough. But let's root for the Bears tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.